Today, we're going to be checking out the KHE 4x4fx amp switcher. So anyone that's watched my channel for a little while should know that I've been using a KHE 4x2 amp switcher for a long time. Anyone that doesn't know what this is, it allows you to plug in amplifiers and cabinets and switch between them without having to go and move a bunch of cables around. It has easily been one of the best and probably the most used, the single most used piece of gear in my studio since getting it over these past couple of years. And recently I decided to upgrade. I decided that the 4x2 wasn't doing it for me just because I needed a little bit more and I needed the ability to have an effects loop. And that was hugely important to me. I can have, if I want, all four amplifiers that are plugged into the 4x4fx running with the same effects loop. That's great because I can have them all running with my same noise gate, my delay, my reverb, my chorus, any of the other effects I want to use in EQ. If I want to put one in my loop, anything that I can put in there, I can run between all four of the amplifiers. And that's great because before, when I would switch around, if it was a bunch of high gain stuff, I would have to have either gates running on stuff or just no gates running on everything and then take care of all the noise in post. This way I can just have everything running with one simple effects loop and it's fantastic. Now, as always with the KHE stuff, this doesn't color your tone at all. It's nice, clear, transparent. You just get the sound of your amps and whatever effects you're running. And that's super ideal in a studio setting, especially when I'm trying to audition tones or maybe look for an amplifier that, hey, what would be good for this overdrive demo or this fuzz demo or anything else that I'm doing, maybe pickups or a guitar, or maybe I'm even doing an amp comparison and I just need to be able to quickly switch between them. This has me covered. What's also great is with the 4x2, I used to have 4 amps, 2 cabinets. The 4x4fx, I can have 4 amps and I can have up to 4 cabinets if I want to. Now, when I show this off, I'm just gonna have it going into my 2 notes Captor X. I'm not gonna be switching around to a bunch of other stuff. But if I wanted to, I could have the option, which would be hugely important, especially in a studio setting. I honestly can't say enough good things about the KHE. I've been using, like I said, the 4x2 for years, and recently just picked up this 4x4fx and been living with it for about the past month. And it has just streamlined my whole setup. It just makes everything so much easier. I don't have to go and mess with a bunch of cables and go behind my desk or behind my amps and mess with a bunch of stuff. I can just immediately switch on an amp and start getting tones. And that's hugely important for the creative process as well as for, workflow for when I'm doing work. So I figured we'd just hear this thing in action for a little bit. And I'm just gonna have all 4 of my amps that I have behind me running into this. I'm gonna have my Omega Granophyre, my EVH 5153 Stealth 50 watt, my Friedman BE 50 watt, and my Laney AOR 50 watt. And those first 3 are gonna have the effects loop turned on, and you'll see that in the video. They're all running the same noise gate in their loop. And then the Laney, because I have that set up for more of a Doom setup, is gonna have its own thing. It's gonna have a delay and reverb going in its own loop, so it's gonna be separate from this. So when I switch to it, you're gonna see that I have it set up so that the effects loop turns off for that amplifier, but stays on for the other 3. Let's check it out. So this ended up being kind of an impromptu also amp comparison. I'm going to do some proper in and out of mix amp comparisons in the future, but you can definitely get an idea of how these differ and how they have different flavors and feels. And this thing is really, really awesome for that. I can quickly just go, will this work? No, I want this amplifier. That's going to really work for this project. Or this amplifier is perfect. This one might be good for a solo, or this is going to have really good cleans, while this one's going to have that really saturated feel that I want. Just any kind of combination of things I can need, and having it at my fingertips is, I honestly can't stress enough for how good this has been for my workflow, and how it's just really streamlined everything and made it so much better for my work. Like I said, I can't say enough good things about these. I really love them. I'm gonna have a link down below to that. This is one of my single most favorite pieces of gear. I definitely think it's worth checking out, especially for you guys that have a handful of amplifiers. This is really, really going to make things better for you. And if you do studio work, I think this is an absolute must, a totally necessary tool for you. Anyway, let me know maybe what your favorite amp sound was, or your favorite feature on one of these. I think they're worth checking out. And thanks for watching, guys. Stay metal.